Hello everyone, hope you can hear me okay. Welcome back to the Spiritual Victories channel. I hope you're keeping okay. The weather is still really hot in the UK. We're, still having a bit of a heat wave, so to speak, 3 weeks on. Okay, so I haven't made a video for a short while, so I thought I would get a video out today, seeing as I have a bit of free time. I'm in my favourite church again. It's great to record videos here. It's always calm, peaceful, quiet, virtually empty in fact. It's a lovely place to film, and talk, rather than just, filming from home. It's just a bit nicer. So no particular topic today. We're going to be talking about a couple of different things. It's going to be a short video, shorter than normal, but I wanted to get a video out anyway. It's better than not getting anything out at all. Okay, so first up, I wanted to, it's been kind of playing on my mind a little bit in the week that, we're all so busy with, basically trying to propel ourselves forward, in terms of, work, money, jobs, etc., etc., etc. And I do think that, generally speaking, I'm just going to move around a little bit. I do think, generally speaking, that, if we can just learn to manage what we've got first, we will normally be rewarded with even more, once God sees that we're using what we've been given in the correct way. Very often, a lot of us want to start at the top, in terms of, salary and status and jobs and everything else. And like I said, God does definitely watch what we do. He watches how we use what we've been given, even though we might think it's kind of insignificant, the amount of money we've got or the amount of control or power we have in a particular job, or the type of car we have might not be the best, etc., etc., etc. If God can see that we, or you, more to a point, are managing the resources in a fitting way and in a diligent way, then the Bible says, God will trust us with more. I'm sure, whether you're Catholic, Christian, Jewish, etc., those principles will largely remain the same. We have to be trusted to use what we've been given, and kind of not 100% live for ourselves, and to, invest our time, our skills, our resources in a way which is befitting of what we're capable of doing, but also in a way that glorifies God. And when God can see that, we're doing that, stroke you're doing that, very often He'll, elevate us and, give us a bit of a better job, bit better money, a bit more responsibility, a bit more freedom, a bit more trust, etc. So, that's point number one. I said it's going to be a shorter video today. Just wanted to get some video out rather than no video out. I think it's better. Okay, second point, something slightly different. In probably just under 2 months' time, I'm going to be out in the ancient biblical city of Thessalonica, which is today called Thessaloniki in Greece. I'm going to be visiting like a number of churches and monasteries, and some of them are mentioned in the Bible, some of them aren't mentioned in the Bible, but there's a lot of ancient history there, ancient churches, and I'm going to be visiting quite a few of them and filming some vlogs and, perhaps offering a bit of commentary about the history of those places. So that's going to be quite exciting, not just for me, but for the channel as well. So that's just under 2 months away. Like I say, it is mentioned in, in the New Testament, in the Bible, Thessalonica, Thessaloniki in Greece. It's a highly Christian country, I'd say. A lot of Greek Orthodox churches, especially in Thessalonica, which is, today it's like the second largest city in Greece, and there's lots of monasteries and churches. So that's, that's going to be something to look forward to. I hope to get some really good content for that, which I will publish to the channel and edit professionally, once I'm back. And, there'll probably be probably a 6-part series, to be honest. There's so much history and archaeological, archaeological sites, out there in terms of churches and monasteries. Which, it's bound to be enough for a 6-part series. So yeah, I look forward to that. Let's just pick up. I've got my Costa coffee here. Walk and talk. So yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell what I wanted to say on today's video. It's going to be a short video. I'm just so busy at the moment. Being honest with you, I haven't had the time to put into doing a lot of deep research onto topics and filming and editing and stuff. But like I said, just under 2 months' time, I'm going to be capturing a whole load of content in the ancient city of, well, it's not ancient, it's still around today, Thessaloniki, but in the Bible it was referred to as Thessalonica, and the city's still going today. So there's going to be some great content from the churches and the monasteries and stuff and different sites. So I hope to bring that to you probably in a sort of staged series. As I say, it's going to be so much content. I'm probably going to easily be able to make sort of 6, 7, 8 videos out of it, and I hope to get that out in a kind of staged process. Probably over October, November, December, January, February. So the channel won't be boring. There'll be plenty of stuff interesting stuff to look at, away from UK, which is where I am now. So do check back, and as I say, if you're not subscribed to the channel at the moment, do consider subscribing, please, because it all helps. I try to make a good mixture of stuff on this channel. It's a range of stuff, really. Some of the vlogs are tech based, to help people who run sort of churches, monasteries, cathedrals, etc., with various technological advancements in regards to software and SaaS platforms, to help them with things like donations and congregation management and stuff like that. And also, I'm actually from a marketing background anyway. I have another channel which is larger. That's called Ian J United K. So that's Ian J, letter J, United K. That's all one word. You'll find it if you search for it. And that's got like 11,800 subscribers and growing. So it's quite a bit bigger than this channel. And that's mainly all sort of marketing, growth, tech-based content. If you want to have a look at that. Nothing wrong with a bit of self-promotion or cross-promotion is a better way of putting it. But also on this Christian channel, I do also try and bring some of the relevant tech stuff over, which I think might be useful to community groups, charities, churches, etc. So that could include things like donor management, CRM management, customer relationship management platforms, all that kind of stuff, and social media tips to help these organisations get the best and the most from their budget and what they can do. So I do try and make it varied. It's not all one thing. And to be honest, it's really hard to make Christian content for like a YouTube channel, especially when it's going out internationally to different countries, because there's so many rules and regulations nowadays. You've got to be so careful what you say. And I'm learning that with the other channel as well. So try and make it as broad and international and what's the word I'm looking for? It's difficult to kind of phrase it, or the right phrase does not come to mind, but I try and make it as generic as possible, principles which broadly everyone would agree to, regardless of kind of country, race, creed, culture, background, etc. Which generally summed up is things like sense of community, sense of love, and sense of a spiritual sense of forgiveness, sense of mercy, that type of thing. And religion is a really sensitive topic. I mean, because people believe different things, you see, in different parts of the world, which is fine. Everyone's entitled to their own views. And I have no issue with that. I'm just here to, push forward, if you like, if that's a good word, content which will help everybody, with regard to their community group, with regard to their charity, with regard to, the churches and youth clubs and food banks, that type of stuff. So, I do try and make it as varied as possible, and I do think I do a fairly good job at that so far. It is difficult. It's getting more difficult. There's more and more regulation, by the way, in terms of, country-specific laws and things you can and can't say. But, I do try and, keep it as fair and, you know, centre ground is a good way to put it, as possible, without kind of, you know, sounding too forceful and stuff. So look, take care. I know it's a bit of a sort of chit chat, coffee, walk around type video today. I just thought it'd be better to get a video out rather than no video. I'm normally quite good at talking on obviously I've got the camera facing the other way, but you know, when I make these videos I very rarely have notes. You know, maybe with the technology vlogs on the other channel, you know, I've got like a bit of a cue reader in front of me on the laptop and stuff, but generally speaking, because I know my stuff with regard to the tech marketing side of things, and I can talk freelance, and you know, the same is broadly true for this channel. Once I've got a good idea for what I need to say or want to say, you know, I normally find a way to get it out in a, you know, friendly, amenable, fair way. You know, I always like to put stuff across fairly. You know, it's easy to be too forceful you know, to put it another way, nobody knows it all. It's easy to be too forceful in, you know, one's view. So I always try and put stuff out in a fair, universal, international way. You know, rather than just, you know, coming at it from a too single-minded point of view. So look, now I'm going to wrap up here. Take care. I hope you enjoy the rest of the week. Obviously it's a Tuesday today. It might not be published till Wednesday, but it's a Tuesday today. So enjoy the rest of your week. Yeah, I love filming from here because you've actually got the place to yourself. You know, it's fantastic. And it's much more nicer than, I think, filming, you know, from home, from a living room or something. It just gives it a bit more of a sense of authenticity, you know. So look, I will shut up now. Take care, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks. Bye.